Hey everyone, Tim Dexter from the BI Publisher blog and the video this week around Excel. So Excel templates, Excel output, and a request from Joanne, who's one of my customers I've been working with recently, where she's generating Excel output, but what her users would actually like to see is the following type of output, where you've sort of got a group left going on. So where we're seeing, the unique value once, and then the other values in the other columns being shown, but we're not repeating those unique values, those duplicate values in the output. And we can do this. We can do this in the data model and create a couple of nested groupings, and then map those nested groupings into our Excel template, and we can get that group left effect. But I kind of, my experience of users who want Excel, they don't necessarily want to have missing data, right? They want to be able to manipulate this data after the fact. So they want it to look good, but they kind of want to maintain that integrity. But they do not want to see duplicate values. So another way of tackling this would be really just to set the font to the same color as the background. That way we maintain the integrity of the document, of the data. I can still come in and I can still sort, but my values are still here, but they're effectively hidden when it comes to reading the report. Right? Now, that raises other issues, of course, but I just felt this was better to have all the data at my fingertips rather than BI Publisher take it away from me and I can't do anything with it going forward. So there are ways to sort of do this programmatically, as it were, rather than what I've just been through. So let me put this back together. And you can either do it once the data's actually come out, in your final output, or you can do it in your template. So a bit of playing around with this, I got this working inside the template itself. So let me delete this spreadsheet output. So we'll go to the actual template, and what we can do is use Excel's conditional formatting capabilities. And the fact that in Publisher, as you know, with our Excel templates, we name cells and we name groups of cells. You can see the cell names appearing in the top left-hand corner. So I can highlight a cell, click on conditional formatting, manage rules. We're going to get this one out of the box. Click in new rule and say use a formula to determine which cells to format. So we need to come up with a Boolean expression here. A bit of Googling revealed that if I just use equals, and then I look at the cell A1, which is the column header, and see if it equals the cell A2. Right, so if A1 equals A2, then I want to change the font to white. So it's L1. So when this starts to work, it'll look at A1 and compare that to A2. No, they don't match, so let's keep A2. Compare A2 to A3. There's probably going to be a match. So let's not show A3. Compare A3 to A4. There's a match. Don't show it. Right? Make it white. So we can carry on working through this and add other similar base rules. So let me do it for the ID. So we're going to equals B1. So our thing is, does B1 equal B2? If it does, it's white. Click OK, click apply. Now, one thing I've noticed in this dialog, you have to be very, very careful if you're putting in multiples, because you can see the cell that's still got focus is actually A2. So it's just going to apply this text to the A2 field. So what we need to do, I've also found it's easier just to delete almost everything and start again. So we want it to apply to B2. Click away from the cell, click apply. Just make sure we've still got it here. And let's put in my last rule around in my name. So that's going to be if C1 is equal to C2. Set the format to be white font. Click OK, click OK. my C1, C2, and I've just got to change what cell it applies to, and hit apply. Let's just make sure we've got everything in the worksheet. So I've got my 3 rules for A1. Notice this one is screwed up a little bit, so let's edit the rule. I'm not quite sure why. An Excel feature maybe. So C1 equals C2. Alright, now let's hit apply. So Excel has now got me a little bit paranoid, so let's just make sure. So now things are getting really screwy. So here's this formula is now looking at C1 equals C2, and it's for the B column. So let's go in and modify this. B1, B2, click OK, hit apply. Go look at them again. The whole worksheet. Okay, we have a set of matches. So we've got A, B, B, C, C. Click OK. So that's my template done. I'm now going to save it. And I can bring up Template Viewer, because I'm just testing on my desktop, of course. Could also use the Excel plugin. And I'm going to make sure I've got my output, final output is Excel. I'm going to start processing. And it loaded it in the background, of course, a tiny amount of data. But you can now see that we've got our first value, and then our duplicates are now in white text and effectively hidden. And my users can come in and, of course, unhide those if they wish. But I've kind of addressed that group left, but still maintaining the integrity of the report itself, or the output, the spreadsheet. So that's hiding Excel values. Talk to you again soon. Thanks.